Good day, everybody. And I certainly hope it's a good day for you, as it's been kind of tough lately, having found out a couple more of my favorite singers have passed away. The woman you see here is Connie Francis from a TV appearance in 1961, as she died at the age of 87 just a few days before the making of this video. And she was an amazing talent and had some terrific songs in the late 50s and early 60s. Stupid Cupid, Lipstick on Your Collar, the title track to the film Where the Boys Are, which she appeared in. First solo woman to top the Billboard Hot 100 chart in the United States with Everybody's Somebody's Fool. And that's one of my personal favorite songs, too. Had some, My Heart Has a Mind of Its Own was another number one hit she had. And Don't Break the Heart That Loves You hit number one for a little bit. Just a fantastic performer. And I have often referred to her in private conversations as underrated. Well, that's certainly not true, at least not back in the 50s and 60s, with her 3 number one hits and hitting the top 10 multiple times. And in fact, just recently, in one of her most obscure hits, Pretty Little Baby from 1962, went viral on TikTok. And she herself was flattered with that. And what's all the more amazing about Connie Francis, she lived a tough life. She and Bobby Darin, another fine singer from her era, were together. And Connie wanted to marry Bobby and called him the love of her life, but her father strongly disapproved, and the couple never married. Connie did have 4 other marriages in her life, but 3 of them lasted less than a year, and they all eventually ended in divorce, all 4 of them. She did find a life partner later in her life. They never officially married, but they were together until the guy died. Her brother was shot to death. She herself was the victim of a very bad rape in the 70s. She battled depression. She battled substance abuse. But still, Connie Francis kept on pushing. As tough as they get, as fine a singer as they get. And I know most people I grew up with are bigger fans of Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, and of course Beyonce, who continues to wow the young crowd now. But for me, one of my favorites, Connie Francis. And here she is a little later on in 2011. She was still a cutie even at that age. A cutie then and cutie in 2011 when she was in her 70s. And when I heard she'd had a broken hip and was in extreme pain a few weeks ago, I wondered if this was getting to the end of Connie Francis' life. And as I found out, again, a few days, I think 4 days prior to this video being made, we lost Connie at the age of 87. And another one we lost a little over a month before this taping, though somehow I didn't hear about it till a couple of days ago. I think because most of the media was still on Brian Wilson, and I know Wilson had bigger hits with the Beach Boys and more big hits than this guy did, but still, Lou Christie was a fine talent in his own right. His falsetto voice, how he got his voice as high as it did, I'll never know. But a terrific singer in his own right, broke through in the early 60s with A Gypsy Cried and then Two Phases Have I. Spent some time in the Army and then returned to the charts, even hit number 1, if I remember right, with Lightning Strikes in early 1966. Another song of his later that year, Rhapsody in the Rain, was considered too suggestive by most radio stations, and about the teenager's romance in a car going too far. but still certainly to me a fine tune and very tame. Compare it to a lot of today's stuff. And Lou did go on to have a few more songs after that, including I'm Gonna Make You Mine. But Lou Christie, another fine singer who performed up till a few years ago, and I remember just a few years ago hearing an interview with him and how, at least for a little while, when he took that stage, he felt 22 years old again. But on June 18th, Lou Christie lost his battle with cancer at the age of 82. And pretty sad that people who have provided the soundtrack of my life, even though I was born in 1984, the 50s and 60s music, is what I loved when I was a kid and what I still love today, and so many artists who provided that soundtrack are going away. Sad reminder of how short life really is, and how excuse me, and how precious life really is as well. I mean, I remember hearing about the death of Fats Domino, one of my favorites from the 50s who survived Hurricane Katrina. But about a decade after that lost his life, and I remember hearing about Gene Pitney's death, George Harrison, to name a few of my favorite singers who have gone away, and two more have joined the list, Connie Francis and Lou Christie. And two artists that'll never be forgotten and continue to provide the soundtrack of my life. Continue to help provide the soundtrack of my life to this day. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you down the road. Hope your summer is going well, and we'll talk again soon. Good day, everyone.